Shalom, everybody. This is Rabbi Dauermann from Interfaithfulness, where we're building bridges where history builds walls. And today I want to again invite my friend Dr. Bruce Stokes to join me for what we call a table talk. How are you, Dr. Stokes?
I'm doing well.
That's great. That's great. Well, we're continuing our discussions about Chavarot, about household spirituality, about what I like to call face-to-face spirituality. And I read an article about online services by a fellow named Travis Sink. And it occurred to me that he creates four criticisms and questions about virtual services. I thought we would take a look at and see if we agree or not. So let's take a look at some of these. He feels that virtual services create a consumerism Yeshua-Faith, which could become the norm. In other words, that people shop around on the internet and they kind of dabble. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the congregational movements in both Judaism and Christianity have moved more and more into a business model and less a relational community. And now when you add to that this kind of video access, it turns everything really into a show. And it's very easy then for the person at home to just say, I think I'll switch to another channel.
Absolutely. I got that. Well, here's the second one he brings up. Online religion could easily become all about me. So he says it can get very self-centered. I think that's probably true. What about you?
Yeah, I think that if you're sitting and deciding which one you're going to watch, you're going to pick the one you think is best for you. Not necessarily what is best for you, but what keeps your entertainment and your interest.
And it's also about what meets my needs, but it doesn't mobilize us to meet the needs of the world, really, does it?
Exactly. It doesn't bring maturity.
No, sad but true. Here's a third one. He said, we lose the element of communal witness to our faith. Well, I'm not so sure that's true. In my own life, communal witness to my faith in my early stages and even later on came in smaller groups, not in going to a meeting hall and hearing a lecture or the kinds of what I call spectator spirituality that often we find amongst Yeshua believers. So I think there's communal witness on a smaller scale. What do you think?
Well, I think there's only communal witness on a small scale. So whether you have a large congregation, you'll lose the personal relational nature of it. If you've got a group of people who are all in a room and they're watching a program, interacting with a liturgy, and then discussing that, the relational nature can still be there. So I think this one's not clearly one or the other.
I agree with you. And here's his fourth. Spiritual disciplines and accountability could easily fall away when we're doing virtual reality. I think that's true. I know I do some virtual Bible studies every week and a virtual service right now due to the blessings of COVID. And oftentimes there are people who attend the services but don't even show their faces. I just have their phone numbers. That doesn't create that doesn't create accountability and growth in spiritual disciplines. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we're seeing that even in the university schooling system, that as students are coming in that way, we lose the sense that they're in a class. They lose a sense of accountability. They're not showing us that they're even there. They could be asleep on the couch for all we know. So I think that's a problem of the technology.
When I went for graduate and postgraduate education, on occasion courses were offered online, and with all due respect to all of the hard work that went into it, it's really not the same.
No,
online classes are just not the same as being in the same room together.
Exactly.
Okay, he suggests a few solutions, or at least counterbalances to the weaknesses that he posits. Here's one of them: find ways to serve at a distance. In other words, if you're going to be scattered about in a virtual congregational reality, find ways to serve when you're apart from each other. What do you think?
Well, I think that should be the norm. We have somehow created the idea that you have to be at the religious facilities for all activities to happen. And the reality is, it needs to happen in the homes and in the parks and in the workplace and in all of those things. You read the book of Acts, that's exactly what they did. They may have gone to the temple to worship, but they went out and about in the marketplace to serve and to minister.
Right. I got you. That's good. His second solution that he suggests is continue right patterns of financial support, because he's concerned that the organizational edifice of spiritual communities will crumble when people are apart. How has the scattered nature of your congregation during COVID impacted financial patterns?
Well, we expected that they might drop down. They actually have increased. Part of that is because our congregation has been taught to be stewards. And so their understanding of tithing, their understanding of tzedakah, their understanding of participation in ministries is something that they were doing directly themselves, rather than us gathering it all in the offering plate by taking an offering. So I think that this can be done if the spiritual disciplines of stewardship is properly taught.
Right. I gotcha. Okay. He's got a third one. Purposely connect with other believers. If you're scattered about in virtual reality, you don't just go to that gathering, but connect in between. Have you developed any pattern for doing that?
Yeah, we have a statement in our congregation that if you only see the other members in a service, you're not being the body. We need to be in each other's homes. We need to be in each other's lives. We need to know where we're connected at work and at play and other areas. And if we do that, then we are not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together. It's more than just a big gathering. It's the smaller gatherings as well.
Yeah, I have visited your congregation, and it embodies something that you and I both believe in, and that is a kind of familial spirituality.
Yes.
There's a very strong sense that when your people gather, they're not just hypothetically the family of God, but they're really family to each other.
Yeah.
And that's good stuff. Okay, so that's his final suggestion. Well, there may be people who want to discuss Chavurot more with us, and we're doing something called the Chavurah Action Initiative because we believe there is no place like home for the people of God. So I want to encourage people to get in touch with us if they want to know more, and they can. Let me see if I can get you a good way to do that. The Chavurah is a minimum of 6 to maximum of 15 people. And if any of you want to know more about Chavurot, just get in touch with us at chai, C-H-A-I, at interfaithfulness.org. Chai, C-H-A-I, at interfaithfulness.org. And we'll be happy to interact with you about this model. But for now, we need to go, Bruce, until the next time. So thank you for your time today.
All right.